This video is about the white supremacist and sometimes the LGBT coaching complex. Growing up, a lot of people from my generation, if not all of them, met these guys who would jog with the neon orange shorts, that are very short. They were sort of gayish, a whistle around their neck. They'd be like, "Come on, guys," and they'd want to sort of teach people how to be. They just want to tell people how to do things. These are the fundamentals. You dribble like this, right? Dribble with the tips of your fingers, right? Don't be unnecessarily cool, right? Don't do put the ball around your back when you do a layup. I remember when I was at Bellarmine Summer School, the coach got mad because I did a around the back layup, and scored the point. You know what I'm saying? So these guys have a serious complex when it comes to who coaches who. They seem gayish, whether they're gay or not. A lot of times they're married, to be fair, but they seem gayish. They have serious issues, okay? So the first example I'm going to use is the rapper. Can a white guy, and I'm not racist, I'm part white, be the greatest embodiment of a rapper or a hip-hop guy? Can a black guy be the greatest embodiment of a golfer? Well, what it means to be a golfer, historically, is to be a white privileged person. So if you're not white, you cannot truly get to the essence of having that golfing way about you. Tiger Woods approaches it, but because he's not white and he doesn't have that certain arrogance that these golfer guys have, he doesn't nail it. There's also a form in which they swing. Okay, he might swing better than they do. Okay, but he doesn't nail the swing that they do. It's the same thing with basketball. With rap. There's a certain way about them that black people have when they rap. Okay, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, they have certain variations. It's basically a black kind of poor guy, he's a thug, for example. Okay, if you're not that, you can't be that. You can't be the greatest embodiment of something that is from black culture, okay, and not be black. So it is with being a samurai. You cannot be the greatest embodiment of specifically a samurai and not be Japanese. When it comes to being the top martial artist, now a lot of people don't like this idea, but it's simply true. You cannot be the greatest embodiment of the martial arts. You can't be the top martial artist without being naturally a horse like a person. Now, who was Horus, right? He was the high bird, aka hybrid. The Egyptians were hybrid. Okay, and he was from an African patriarchal line in his original form. We can tell by the way that he's shaped and the way he's emphasizing martial arts in the first place. My whole life, I never met somebody who had a white father and a black mother that achieved a great degree of coordination. It has something to do with RNA expression, something to do with the African pressure cooker, being in the jungle and fighting other Africans in the particular way that they did, okay, which they did better than everyone on the planet. And then other groups of people chose to put on armor and start fighting differently, okay, which made it so that they were nowhere near as competitive as these African guys in hand-to-hand combat. Part of why they call it mentally ill, right? Because they want to pretend that the implications of this mean nothing. So they say mental, men-tall. What are the odds that that's what it is? And we have mentally, we have mental, and then we have the ly. They say mental lie. They want them to lie and pretend that Horus is not the archetype of the ideal man, that it's some kind of white golfer, sold, gold, cold, told, bold, all have the word old in it. Even if you reject the wordplay, you know damn well they treat black people like animals. Is Michael Jordan known for his mental prowess? No. They say he does a few cool moves, and they downplay the brain function that allows him to do it. And it's like that with all the boxers. They respect Muhammad Ali's philosophy? No. He said some interesting stuff, but he's not remembered for that stuff. He's remembered for his boxing alone, like some kind of animal, like a horse race, like a dog fight, like a cockfight. Don't you see how this thing works? So to be a great martial artist, one has to be humble and honest. If you can't even be honest enough to admit that Horus is the archetype of the top martial artist, faster and master, Okay, the Narmer palette, this tall black guy. If you take the Eurocentric stance, let's get our science departments to lie. We'll say Shaka Zulu was white too. You know, we can get away with it. Come on, guys, come on. People are too scared to contradict us, even though we're obviously wrong. Come on, guys, come on. We'll say the guys on the pyramid paintings just were white guys with a tan. Come on, guys, come on. Even though they had white guys on the stela of the races, you have two clearly white-skinned people. Well before Jesus in Egypt. Okay? They have depicted these guys. The Babylonians, they're said to be. Indo-Europeans, they're said to be. So why are those guys in the desert white? And those Egyptians are black skinned. Their skin is like mine, like a mulatto or something. And you say that they're white. Because you're a motherfucking liar. Just like no one should believe what you have to say about me. I am Horus, so to speak. I am the archetype of the ideal man and the top martial artist. You did not teach me that. There were no white guys with whistles in ancient Egypt teaching Narmer to be the top martial artist. Whoever would suggest such a thing should be punished severely. It is extremely racist. It is scientific racism. It is cowardice. It is a disgrace. If I belonged to the same group of somebody who said such a thing, I would be very embarrassed. Do you have any shame, you weirdos? No, you did not teach me to be the top martial artist. Yes, you try to make me seem crazy and said if on an off chance they believe him, let's do things in a way so we can take the credit. What the fuck are you talking about? Did you teach the falcon to fly? Did you teach Jordan to dunk and put his tongue out? Did you teach the leopard to attack and to do what he does? Did you teach the cheetah to run? The fish to swim? No, you Eurocentric lunatics. You did not teach the top martial artist to be the top martial artist. But what you did do is hinder my progress with your motherfucking cultures. Your drug cultures. When I was younger, smoking weed. Your party cultures that are American cultures that are for peoples that were in captivity, they were looking for their identity, which you denied them. You delayed my progress. You taught your daughters to shun me, so I was miserable, moping instead of training a lot of my life. You did get in my motherfucking way, but you didn't teach me a motherfucking significant thing. If you teach someone to tie their shoes, did you teach them to be the fastest runner in the world? No. You fools. You arrogant, pretentious, pompous lunatics. Stop pretending that you are ideal. You are the greatest Judases that ever lived. To him much is given, much is expected. What did you do with what you were given? You sabotaged the ideal man and the covenant with man and God, God's Son. The lightning testifies that there's something greater that you're ignoring, that put it there. The sun testifies that there's something greater that you're ignoring, that put it there. But you're going to sit there with all of your arrogance and not learn the lessons from history. You are the types of fools that if we rewound the clock, you would kill the Native Americans all over again. You would enslave the black people in that particular way all over again. You are that type of idiots. So yes, it's extremely insulting for you to pretend that you trained me to be me.